First week of August, it's already done and dusted. Can you believe it? 7 days in already. It's ridiculous. So I thought I would just check in and see how your first week had gone. Firstly, have you set any goals for August? For the month even? How about setting up your big 3 items that you're wanting to focus on for the month? Or how about your big 3 items for this week even? Did you set up some baby steps to decide how you are going to work towards those goals that you had set for yourself? And also, have you made any progress so far? How about checking in on the different areas in your life? Think about not just business. I know we talk about Finance Friday, but it's not just about business, right? So think about your relationships. Think about what you're doing for your self-care. You know, like what are you doing to make sure you're looking after yourself? What about your health? What about leisure activities or hobbies? I do archery, so that's something that I need to make sure that I'm getting to as well. And even thinking of things like what new foods you want to try, what recipes do you want to use, and thinking of people that you're really wanting to connect with specifically during this month. Maybe you think about, is there a letter that you need to write, or is there a random act of kindness that you would like to do? But the point is, what are you going to do to make sure that August is something for the history books? Something that will make it stand out from the rest of what 2020 has been. Something that makes it worthwhile remembering. Will you be able to think back a year from now and remember where you are today and what you were up to at this exact moment? Okay, so lots of questions. Great if you have done that already, but if you have not yet, I'd like to refer you back to the last video for June, which is where we did your month in review. And if you have not found that video yet, do go check it out. There's also a great worksheet that will help you to work through this process of looking at your month in hindsight. And then the following session, the first live video we did in July, was all about your 90-day plan. It was about goal setting and making sure that you have the right goals in place for the rest of the year. So if you have not watched either of those, do make sure you check it out. It's great value and great resources for planning purposes, and I will probably be referring to them quite often going forward. Okay, but so maybe you tuned in last week and you heard me talking about routines and how we can make sure that we use routines in our business to be more productive. Fantastic. They help us to be productive in our business as well as in our personal lives. And then I also mentioned that this week we would be talking about, drumroll please, we were talking about the right things to focus on in your business. And what I want you to do, just starting out in terms of an exercise, is to think about all of the tasks that you do in your business. From things like admin, checking emails, managing your staff, needing to find new clients, doing marketing, going on social media, doing client work. What else do you have? I'm sure that there are plenty of things on your list, but I want you to just make a list of all of those different things, whether it's small or whether it's big. I want you to think about those. And then I want you to start thinking about how you feel about each of those tasks. Is it something that you are good at? Maybe it's something that you're okay at, but you're inefficient, like you take long. It would probably be faster for someone else to do it. You know, I've got a lot of those things as well. How about like how excited you are about it? Is it something that sparks joy, that you are passionate about? Or is it something that you're just like, oh, I wish I could get rid of this task and just not do it anymore? Okay, so think through all of those things. So in summary, what I want you to do, think about those tasks and then think about how proficient you are. So how good are you at it? You're highly proficient, maybe medium, terribly proficient at it. So how skilled are you at it? And so that's the one component. And then the second one is to think about how passionate you are about it. Is it something you are super excited about, you'll score yourself really high, or is it something you just hate? Then you'll score yourself really low. So for each of those tasks, you can have 2 columns, one for your passion and one for your proficiency. And we'll be using that in the next session, okay? So I want you to just start thinking about that. And when I was promoting this week's session last week, I spoke about what Michael Hyatt calls the freedom compass. And that's really where this part comes in, about the passion and the proficiency. And what Michael suggests is that we should be spending most of our time it's probably not going to be all of our time, but most of our time in the area that we are highly passionate and highly proficient in. And he calls this the desire zone. And I love that because that's like exactly what it is, right? That's where I desire to spend all of my time. Things that I'm good at, things that I love doing, I want to do the most of those. But then maybe there are things that you are maybe good at, but you don't enjoy, or there are things that you really enjoy, but you're not good at. And those two zones we call the distraction and the disinterest zone. And then the zone that we really don't want to be in, it's called the drudgery zone. And it's called the drudgery zone for a reason. Those are the things that you're neither good at nor enjoy. And if you are spending a lot of time in that category, you might need to rethink the roles that you are responsible for. And if you are an employee and you're in that space, then you seriously need to reconsider how you can allocate responsibilities differently to make sure that you are starting to move up towards that desire zone, because the desire zone is where we are most effective in terms of how we spend our time. Okay, so now that you have categorized those into passionate and proficiency, and maybe starting to think about which quadrants it would fall into, so think about passionate and proficient right at the top, and then at the bottom, neither passionate nor proficient, so your drudgery zone. And then you'll have highly proficient, but really don't enjoy it, not passionate, that's your disinterest zone. And on the other side, you've got highly passionate, but not very proficient. That is your distraction zone. So think about it in those 4 areas. And then what I want to do next week is to help you figure out the ways that we can focus on the right things. Okay, so how can we get rid of those things that are not in your desire zone? So that's what we'll be doing next week. And we'll be talking about a few different strategies that you can implement to make sure that you're getting rid of all of these other areas. And you might even find that email is one of those things that you are very disinterested in, or that is like a total waste of time for you because it's in your drudgery zone. That happens often, right? But so if you missed out on our Instagram session that we did yesterday, it was all about battling the email monster. So if inbox zero is this fictitious word to you that you never can apply in your own life, then make sure that you go watch the session that we did yesterday on Instagram. Okay, so you know what we're doing next week. You know what we did yesterday on Instagram. But just finally, I want to remind you that we are doing our first official webinar as part of the UPvisor Training Academy next week, Wednesday, and we will be digging deep into your balance sheet. We won't just be talking about what a balance sheet is, we'll also be talking about what your balance sheet should potentially look like. Like what does the perfect balance sheet look like? And also how do we use the information that's in your balance sheet to your advantage. So our monthly subscription for founding members, which were people that viewed or accessed our resources during June and July, at a rate of 200 Rand per month, which gives you access to the webinar as well as the application session. If you missed out on that, it's fine. You can still access the same content, same value for 250 Rand per month. And over and above that, the sooner you sign up, the better, because we will systematically be increasing the prices, and you're really locking in the best possible price going forward. Okay, so make sure that you get that. Sessions like this and subscriptions like this could easily be worth 2,500 Rand and up, so you are really getting it at a fraction of the price. Okay, so that's it from me for today. It's always a pleasure chatting to you, and I look forward to hearing what sort of routines you're starting to put into place, and also what are those areas that you need to get rid of. If there are specific areas that you feel are sitting in your disinterest zone and your drudgery zone, please do pop it in the comments below. I will make sure that we address them in next week's session. Okay, so until next week, same time, same place, this is Kristine Tudhope, over and out.